As a Latin American entrepreneur, when you talk to global funds, a lot of the work will be in selling funds on the Latin American potential. For people outside of the region, it seems like this distant fairy tale land that they know nothing about. They'll ask, we don't really know much about Latin America. Why should we invest in you? Note that it's different when you talk to local funds. They spend all day long studying the key trends in LATAM, and they're also experts in selling the LATAM story when they talk to their LPs. At SoftBank, we spent a lot of time thinking about how to position Latin America to the outside world. In this video, we'll go over how you can sell the Latin American opportunity to investors. Special thanks to Atlantico, one of the leading early-stage VCs in LATAM, for publishing a report of the key trends that we'll cover. We'll lean on that report. Latin America is a huge market. Imagine a market with over 600 million people and a GDP of more than $6 trillion. That's the third largest economy in the world after the US and China, and larger than emerging markets like India and Southeast Asia. Latin America isn't this foreign, faraway bubble. It's a force to be reckoned with, and a very large one at that. Second, the population is young. With a younger population that's only getting bigger, this region is setting the stage for some serious technological and economic leaps. People are online. Internet penetration is higher in Latin America than it is in China and India. And in some countries, it's on par with high-income countries like the US and Europe. People spend a lot of time online and consume a lot of content. Latin Americans spend a lot of time on the internet, more than the US and China. And they're big consumers of media, with high adoption of media across platforms from Instagram to YouTube. LATAM is the number 2 user base in the world for Netflix, number 2 user base for Facebook, and number 2 user base for WhatsApp. Brazil and Mexico are each within the top 10 markets globally for Twitter, Instagram, Netflix, and YouTube. Brazil, LATAM's largest market, has the highest adoption of Uber in the world. Despite all this digital engagement, there's still a huge gap in services like e-commerce and financial services, meaning that there's room to grow and make a significant impact. That's where startups can come in and fill those gaps. Now, despite these impressive stats, venture funding in LATAM is still just a sliver of what it could be, given the total size of the region. The region receives less than 1.5% of global venture funding, despite being collectively the third largest economy in the world, behind only the US and China. Oh, and the tech scene here is just starting to heat up. Compared to major markets, Latin America's tech companies are just a tiny piece of the economic pie with a lot of runway for growth. We've already seen some huge hits like Nubank, and that's just the start. There's already a burgeoning ecosystem of unicorns brewing, proving that it's entirely possible to build a multi-billion-dollar business in the region. In summary, if you had to distill the Latin American opportunity in 3 sentences, use the following. Latin America is a huge $6 trillion market with a young population that has amongst the highest adoption rates of internet and media consumption in the world. Yet, there's a gap that needs to be filled across domains, ranging from access to financial services to e-commerce, proving a massive opportunity for tech startups. Historically, it's been a region that has received very little capital, but of that, there have been many success cases like Nubank and an ecosystem of unicorns created, proving that it's entirely possible to build a multi-billion-dollar business in the region. Be sure to frame this huge opportunity ahead for those that may not be familiar with Latin America. This brings us to the end of the lesson. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.